Welcome back. Sorry if I'm a little giggly. I just did a big chunk of the video and just all of a sudden got super tongue tied, and so just pressed pause and then just wanted to see how the video was going. Noticed I was recording the cabinets behind me. So, same words, everything, but same voice that you've heard on all the other videos, but total different scene featuring some furniture. So now we are on chapter 6, and I remembered to bring these. And now I, Nephi, do not give the genealogy of my fathers in this part of my record, neither at any time shall I give it after upon these plates which I am writing, for it is given in the record which has been kept by my father. Wherefore I do not write it in this work. And as I said, if any of you have read the begats and so begat so and begat and begat and begat, I can completely see, if you're engraving on metal plates, why you'd want to skip the begats, Let's just go right to Joseph. We're descendants of Joseph. For it sufficeth me to say that we are descendants of Joseph, and it mattereth not to me that I am particular to give a full account of all the things of my father, for they cannot be written upon these plates, for I desire the room that I may write of the things of God. And again, this just invites you to ponder, what are the things of God that you're gleaning from the Book of Mormon? What do you hear that you know is of God? Because when you come upon those moments, especially just in chapter 1, the terms, those who are chosen because of their faith, just even that first chapter, when I heard that, I thought, oh my goodness, I was always given this impression that to be chosen meant, you had to be born into a certain lineage, or you had to, have a certain last name or the right connections or whatever. And it has nothing at all to do with anything outward and everything inward. And it just, and when you come upon those nuggets in the scriptures, because you feel that expansion and you feel that familiarity. So look for those moments as we're reading through the Book of Mormon. For the fullness of mine intent is that I may persuade men, good old Nephi, he's to come unto the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob, and be saved. Wherefore the things which are pleasing unto the world I do not write, but the things which are pleasing unto God and unto those who are not of the world. Meaning their values are, and the things that they do are different. So nowadays, the whole world, when I was in high school, I did an exchange program in Germany, and you went into the market and there was nothing. There were no Cheetos, there were no Oreos. It was all German stuff, just strictly. You had to go to a specialty store back when I was in high school in Germany, to find anything American like that. Nowadays, you can go just about anywhere, and it's all, generic, and it's all, we're all just like one world. We all have the same values. We all have the same pastimes. We're all holding phones in our hands. It's like, how different do believers or followers of Christ really look from the rest of the world? And not really on the outward, most of us are subscribed to Netflix. We're all on YouTube. We're all, so it's just, where does that difference come in? How are we not of the world? So nowadays, since we're all so culturally enmeshed from, China to us, they're not necessarily watching the same shows, but they're wearing the same clothes. And they're, they have the same, habits and their electric appendages, and they have all the same lifestyle choices, overworking, getting in debt, eating worse and worse food, so it seems like our values are kind of like seeping in everywhere. So how do we differentiate what is a follower, what is a believer, what is somebody who's not of this world? And what it just boils down to is someone that's not seeking the approval of this world, that they're going to follow their heart, and they're going to be true to the promptings that come to them, that, and they're not set in railroad tracks of a life. They're not, okay, well, I got to, check boxing, as we've talked about before at times. You're not on this railroad track of a plan. You're open to possibilities. You're open that you may have taken the wrong road to begin with, and that maybe you should try this way because you keep feeling this prompting that, you know what, you need to go look around that bend. And so many of us get on this schedule and on this fixed map of our lives. And I'm not saying it doesn't end in success, but monetary or success, or worldly terms success. But is that what someone who is not of the world really measures their success by? We already learned that prosperity means to enjoy God's presence in your life. And to enjoy God's presence, you need to feel the way that He does towards His children. And how many of us do that? In order to enjoy His presence, there are certain qualities that we need to work on and develop. And one of the first ones is compassion. Compassion, the most important of them all. The true love of Christ, that Christ-like love, that Christ consciousness that can look at God's children and say, you are as important and of the same heritage as I am. You are as we, if you were going to be start drowning in a lake, I'm going to jump in after you. I don't even know you, and that we see that happen a lot. People will go into a burning building and for a total stranger to rescue them, because in that moment they're able to have that clear vision of this precious child of God. And it's an amazing thing, because you'll notice in stories like this that after someone has an intense experience like that, like rescuing somebody or saving somebody from drowning or pulling somebody out of a car, or in some way being involved in the preservation of their life, that person, they become so tightly bonded. Why? You always wonder, why do they always want to keep in touch? I mean, they're fine now. I mean, why don't you go on with your life? No, they're tightly bonded because for a moment, that person, that rescuer, and usually it's the rescuer that's always so much more in love with the one, the rescued. Yeah, they're so grateful to the rescuer, but that rescuer, now his heart is open to the rescued, and he wants to, or she wants to make sure that they're going to keep going on. And that bonding is because in that moment, the person that was the rescuer knew that soul is as valuable as mine, and my life is not worth anything if I don't save that life. That's the thinking in that moment, because there can be no other thinking. Because if you're going into a burning building, or you're going toward a car that's about to blow up, or you're diving down trying to rescue somebody out of a car because they're stuck in there, risking your own life, that revelation has come to that heart of the worth of a soul. And that is one of the most life-changing experiences. That's why everybody truly, even though we don't know why, we think we want to rescue a life because it's going to bring us fame, recognition. People are going to go, hey, you're a good guy after all. Whatever it is. But honestly, the thrill of saving another life is because in that moment, the veil was lifted and you knew we were all one. And having that amazing opportunity and being able to recognize God's children and to see them as valuable, whether they are of your faith or not, or of your race or not, or of your political persuasion or not, but seeing the value in each and every one of God's children, those are the people that are not of this world. Those are the ones, and they will stand out. They will stand out. There will be no mistaking them, because they're not going to be, oh, well, I do my good, in private at tax time or whatever it is. They are hands-on people that want to interact, that want to hug you. The people that are not of this world are going to become more and and I don't want to sound negative, but they're going to be more and more rare, and they're going to be like beacons of light. So if you know of a person that is not of this world, hold on to that person. Take note, because they are more free, not being of this world, not being strapped down to the values and opinions and the goals and the striving of this world is so freeing. So take notes from that person. Last verse, wherefore I shall give commandment unto my seed that they shall not occupy these plates with things which are not of worth unto the children of men. And I just want to close. I thought we were going to get into 7, but turns out we're not. I just figure that's enough to ponder on till tomorrow. I trying to reduce my ums and my you-knows. This is new to me, this is quite the learning curve. So I'm just so grateful to be able to share these words with you, because whatever your faith or persuasion, they're of value. They're of value. And whether you go to church or you don't, or your idea of church is just searching things on the internet to see what God has to say today, whatever it is, these words here are of value. They don't mean that you're going to have to change your whole life and commit to some new, thing. Just hear me out, hear me out, because they apply so much to today. They really do. And even if you have no interest at all in anything about the church that is associated with this book, just hear me out for this book, because you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised at God's mercy towards his children and the things that he wants you to know in this book, that are not necessarily included in other places. And they are all wonderfully good news things. They just expand on the goodness of God. They don't change him. They don't doctrinally change. He just gets even bigger. He gets even greater. He gets even more loving and more merciful. So I'd love to share that with you. Again, I just want to remind you of the amazing child of God that you are, and of your divine heritage, and the purity and preciousness of your spirit. And regardless, I heard this Christian preacher today. I'm going to end on this, I promise. And he was complaining that not enough pastors today call out their congregation, say, hey, you sinner, repent, old style, fire and brimstone. That would definitely be kind of exciting. But, on the other hand, I would hope that at this point in the world's evolution, that most of us recognize that we're fallible beings and that we all know that we're sinners. I would hope that was the case. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that, but I would think most people know that we're all sinners, from the most righteous of us, that we're all sinners. We all fall short, and we know that. That is not a cause to mourn, though. And that is not a cause to diminish our rejoicings, as we later hear Nephi say. It is a cause to increase our faith and our trust, and our holding on to the atonement and relying on the atonement. But it's certainly not a reason to feel bad about yourself. Yes, you're a sinner. Do better. Do better. When you're wrong. You know the difference between sin and weakness. And that's the thing, because some people, they're sinners because they're weak. It's like, man, I said I wasn't going to eat until 10, and now, I'm trying to do intermittent fasting, but my stomach's growling. There's certain, not that that's a sin, but then willfully, I am going to go slash my neighbor's tires. I don't know, that's a terrible example. But I just thought of something you willfully, there's so many differences between willfully doing something of malice. When you're sinning, because it feels awful. You feel that burning, terrible, feeling. Most of us. I mean, I know there are people out there that do things and don't feel anything anymore. The spirit ceases to strive with them, as the scriptures describe it. The spirit's like, no sense knocking on that door anymore. Yeah, and they're numb. They're zombified, through whatever their own choices. Sometimes even not though. So really, we shouldn't judge. So yeah, I just feel like we know most of us know we're sinners, and if you think you're not, well, obviously this certainly is not the channel for you. And I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you that you think you can't improve in anything. That's actually a sad state of mind, because I'm thinking as a sinner, wow, what am I going to be like without, gravity and opposition and the third down here, and the world and stress and pollution and GMOs, and the list goes on. What am I going to be like without all those things? So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm a sinner. I'm in development. Thank you very much. So, I'm just finding my way here. I'm doing my best, trying to follow the promptings that I get. And, is it perfect? Of course not. Of course not. Mortality is a struggle. But I'm so grateful for these words, because they have provided me so much comfort and what it means to not be of this world. And the Book of Mormon makes it very clear, those who are not of this world, they just go out of their way to try to relieve the suffering of others and try to provide truth that will adequately free them from some of the deceptions that so torment us in this world. So I just wanted to leave again, just letting you know what a wonderful child of God you are, and that you always keep your eye out. Just get those feelers. You know what love feels like. I hope you do. I hope you know what love feels like. And don't settle for feeling disregarded as a human being at your place of worship. Don't do that. God doesn't want you to feel that way. He doesn't. So I just want to express my love for those who are listening. I hope my children, maybe one day, when they miss dear old mom, and who are those videos she was making? Oh yeah, I'm hoping. And I'll see you tomorrow.